Alright, ladies and gentlemen, you got Mr. Carter today. We're talking about standard 6D. We need to clean up some stuff from an old video just to make kind of fit what we're doing. So, let's review relations and functions. This is all the new information. A couple of important points. One, please remember that anytime we write any of this information, when we use brackets, we're going to use these fancy brackets, okay? I'll show you an alternate version when we get to that. So, get rid of that. We'll start over. Relationship functions. Relations in any set of ordered pairs. Here are two examples right down here. I think there's a third one below on your paper. A function is a relation where for each x value there's exactly one corresponding y value. Alright, so every time you have an x, it has its own unique y value. We're going to determine whether each relation is a function. So let's think about that. Let's look at 1 here. Here we have 0, and its pair is 3. -1, its pair is 2. Here's -1, and it has a different pair, -2. Oh no! Not a function. Not a function. Not a function. Alright. Not a function because x is repeated and has a different answer. Right? Each x has to have a separate y. So look at this one. 2 and -2, 4 and -4, 6 and -6. Right? Every x has its own, has one y answer. Another way to think of that is x doesn't repeat. So this is a function. Alright. Next one, look, we have -1 and 5 and 0 and 5. Well, you might think, hey, that 5 repeats, we can't do this. But this one is still a function because it's the x value is the only one we care about. So we'll say function. Or you could say yes, a function would be another way to do that. Right, another way to check is if you have a graph or if you can graph your information, you can do the vertical line test. This is even easier and it sounds you're just going to move this back and forth, and if it crosses, in this case, that purple line in more than one spot, if the vertical line crosses your line or your set of dots in more than one spot, it is a fail. This is a pass because it only touches at one spot on each one. So let's look at those. Let's start over here. Look at this first one. We have a parabola. Doesn't touch. Doesn't touch. Alright, so let's do that then. So we would say yes function. Pretend that says function. I'm right click. We do another one. Uh-oh. So look, it's hitting here and here. So we would say no, or you could say not a function. Alright, we do it again. We'll follow that purple line, look, one spot, one spot, one spot, one spot, one spot. Alright, so that would also be yes function. Alright, easy peasy. We're going to come back to these graphs in a second. Graph the relation and determine its function. Let's see. Let's put those points in line. We have 0, 3, 0, 3. There's -1, 2. There's -1, -2. Alright, so your point says works for the point 2. If I come in and I put a vertical line in here, and I move my line across, look, it's going to hit right there. Right? Oh, I can't get it to move now. That's okay. It crosses through two lines. So we would say this one is not a function. Not a function. Alright? Here, let's write our domains and ranges. So remember, we talked about that squiggle. When you're filling out the domain, you're going to take the x values and you're going to put them from least to greatest. Least to greatest. And you're going to put them in these brackets, specifically these. We have -1. Look, we have -1 twice. You are not going to write it twice. You're going to write it one time. I'll write my 0, end it in the bracket. There you go. Range is going to be the y values. 3 to -2, bracket, least to greatest. And I'm going to stop with that right there. Alright? Do it again. X values 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6. Y values, negative 2, negative 4, negative 6, negative 6, negative 4, negative 2. Least to greatest, least to greatest. Alright? Please remember to include all the bits. It's an easy thing to get right. Alright. Bracket. X values, negative 1 and 0. Negative 1, 0. Range. Oh yeah, hey, if you can't make those brackets, you can just do a squiggle. Just don't do a regular parenthesis or a square parenthesis. So no this and no this, okay? You can do a wiggle like this for 5 and kind of, and that will count that, okay? Just they're tricky. All right. You can also do this if it's a chart like this, right? You're going to treat it as though this is just your ordered pair. So let's here. Domain is x values. I have negative 2, I have negative 1, and I have negative 2 again. So I'm going to do negative 2, comma, negative 1. In parentheses. Come in with green. Poke, poke, poke. I'm going to have 5, 0, and 1. So we're going to have 0, 1, 5. Remember, we do not rewrite numbers. Positive and negative are the same numeral is okay, but not rewrite numbers. Don't write negative 2 twice, right? In this example, that'd be the one that you made the mistake on. All right, let's keep going. Step it up a notch. Hey, look, here's those graphs again. Let's talk about what we're actually looking at, right? So domain and range, x values. So you could come in here and you'd write every point that this is on the line, but that would be psycho because it would take forever. So we need to note that on a parabola, it's going, these arrows say that this line's going on forever. Remember, it's going to kind of just go slightly down. Let's see if I can add to it. We'll erase it before we go. But it's going to go slightly down like that forever, right? Notice as we follow that line, it's moving away from, it's definitely moving away from the x-axis quickly. But it's moving away from the y-axis slowly, meaning it is going both this way and this way. So when we're looking left and right, we know what's going on forever, both those directions. So we're going to come in here and we're going to write an interval notation that talks about the area that it can go, and it's infinity, infinity, and infinity. So we're going to do negative infinity to positive infinity. We're going to put the parentheses that we used the last 2 weeks around them. So parentheses in this case, specifically parentheses. Then up and down, always negative first. So look, it goes on forever that way. So negative infinity is where we're going to start, put parentheses around it. Up, it stops right here. So we can go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to put a 9, and we're going to put a bracket around that, okay? Look at the next one. Now we go left, right. Look at stops, firm, stops, firm, stops, firm, stops, firm. So our domain, in this case, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 6, comma, positive 6. Sorry, brackets, not parentheses, brackets. And same thing, negative 6, comma, positive 6, because it goes down 6 and it goes up 6. All right, this one, you can see the arrows are going left and right, but it does not go any further up and down. So our domain again, it's going to be negative infinity, positive infinity, right? But our up and down, so down would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to say it's like 6 1/4. I would probably accept 6 on this one just because we're kind of limited in what we can see, but I'm going to do 6 and 6.25 is what I'm going to write here. So I'm going to say we're going to do this 6.25, and then I'm going to do let's do 6.75 on top. So go back, make that first one negative. Excuse me there. All right. I think if I give this to you in homework, it's going to have a solid number. You can always check if you're not sure. Last one, look, here's dots. So when we have dots, we're just going to find the ordered pairs and put them in there, okay? So let's start. This one is negative 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 5, comma 2. This one would be 0, comma 1, 2, 3, negative 4. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 6, 6, it looks like to me. And this would be 9, comma 0. So we want to take our domain, -5, 0, 6, 9. And because these are points, we put those fancy brackets on. Range, we're going to have negative 4, 0, 2, and 6. Fancy brackets, right? Right. Look at this domain and range. Look, arrows going on forever this way. It is going both this way and this way. This one's going both this way and this way. So we look left and right, it's infinity. And up and down, it's infinity. So this one would be infinity and infinity, infinity, infinity. All right. Please check your homework. Let us know what questions you have. All right.